Hello kings and queens, welcome to another session with Asian Queen. So today we are talking about the famous fight between Tonto Dikeh and Stella Dimoko. As usual, the topic will not be about them specifically, but about what they represent. So this episode is about dealing with a pathological liar. What happens when you are involved in a fight with a pathological liar? Let me give you just a quick background check. So, Tonto went to Dubai for an award. I don't know what it is because in Nigeria they seem to have an award every single week. And then news broke out that she was arrested because she got into a fight with a bouncer and that she might be facing deportation. Stella carried the news on her blog, and this didn't go well with Tonto. Besides denying that she was ever facing deportation, she also added that Stella has been on her case ever since some charity stuff that they were supposed to do together. Anyway, it happened that the fight became nasty because at this point one would expect Stella to come out with a defense to say, I wrote this news on my blog because I have evidence and this is my evidence. I don't post fake news. Instead, Stella started attacking Tonto Dikeh and she resorted to the most basic and most common insult that Nigerians used to insult women, which is practically slut shaming. I am not going to include the slide because I don't want to, put that kind of content in my video. But it was like really nasty, like who Tonto has slept with, Tonto snatching her friends' boyfriends or doing nasty stuff. It was like really gross. And Tonto happens to be like this very emotional, very expressive person. I've already talked about this when I talked about attitude and behavior and I mentioned Tacha. I said Tacha herself is a very emotional and expressive person. So when they are provoked, they tend to like let go, they tend to like shout, they tend to get, really angry and everything. And that is what a pathological liar would count on, because a pathological liar is not interested in saying the truth. Well, they are pathological liars. They are just looking for an opportunity to spew as much vitriol as possible because they want to distract the attention from the fact that they have lied. In an ideal scenario, when someone says something and then the other person denies it, the person who made the accusation is supposed to come up with evidence to back up the accusation and say, I was not lying, you actually did this. And then in that case, the person who is accused will say, oh well, you've caught me, or they can say, no, this is not an evidence, you are just trying to frame me up, okay? But that is not what happens with a pathological liar. When you catch a pathological liar lying, they are not going to admit that they lie. Instead, they are going to come up with another lie and then they will try to smear you. This smearing that they are doing is because they don't want the attention to be on the fact that they lied. Instead, they want to take the attention to how much of a horrible person you are instead, because it is your fault that they lied. This is all about psychology, because I thought about it and I was like, it doesn't make sense for someone to keep lying even when they have been exposed. Then I have a conversation with a friend who happens to deal with mental health, and he explained to me that when a person lies, it's because they are trying to protect themselves. And because our instinct to protect ourselves is stronger than any other thing, a pathological liar will always lie. So how do you deal with the kind of person that you expose a lie and then they come up with another lie, and then you expose another lie and then they come up with another lie? What do you do? And most especially, do you really have the time and energy to go back and forth with that kind of person? First of all, be as accurate as possible. And secondly, do not leave any room for them to come and accuse you. Okay? Do not leave holes in your story. The fact is, a pathological liar will force you to say the truth in its rawest form. So you cannot actually lie about anything. You need to come out and say, this is what I did on my own and this is what they did. After this, you would expect them to say, okay, wow, the cat is out of the bag. I can't do anything. I'm just going to give up and say, I admit I lied. No, they're not going to do that. Instead, they are going to come up with another lie to cover up for the lie that they had told earlier. Well, you can practically try and dismantle this lie, but I'm telling you right now, you dismantle this lie, they will come up with another lie. So you have two options. It's either you carry on, dismantling their lies, or you just let it be. The point was proving that they lied, and you've already done that. Pathological liars have nothing to lose. You have your time, you have your energy, you have your mental health. And the last thing is, you need to ignore their smear campaign. Now, I know it's very, very hard to listen to someone vomit that much vitriol about you. It's hard to listen to someone spew so much hatred against you, and most of this is going to be lies. So the stuff that they're going to be saying will fall under three categories: pure lies, half truth, or better still half lies, or stuff that people generally do not care about, but because they are pathological liars, they will find a way to make it look like it's something terrible. That person can say 30 things and 28 will either be lies or inaccuracies. So you have to make a choice. Do you want to spend your time writing down every single one of those lies and trying to correct them, like 28 of them? If you start replying to those lies, you will never ever get out of them. Pathological liars never stop lying. You dismantle a lie, they come up with another lie, and you find yourself trapped in this web where you're constantly denying stuff, correcting impressions. Nobody has time for that, okay? Leave them to their vitriol, because at the end of the day, you know you are not like that. You've proved that they lied, so no point going further. That is all. Now it's time for you to face your life. Now it's time for you to move on. And that is all for today. I will see you next time to discuss another celebrity and to see what social issue or psychological issue they represent. See you now. Bye bye.